Hello friends, a warm welcome from Aussie's group. I'm Malcolm, your PT coach, and friends, today I have with me Gaurang. How are you, sir, today?
I'm fine, Malcolm. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you so much for being here, sir.
Always a pleasure.
So, what are we going to do today in our interactive live question answer series today, Gaurang?
Today is the second task of the writing section, which
Right.
is essay. Write an essay.
That's right.
And essay is one topic that gives a lot of nightmares to a lot of students.
But is it that difficult, honestly?
Not really. I
Not
think
really,
essay is
right.
possibly one of the easiest
Easiest
tasks
tasks, yes.
on the entire test.
Right.
The only reason people find it tough is because it is a timed task
Right.
and because most of the students who are going for PTE the first time are not used to typing really fast.
That's right. So, how much time and how many words do we need to type?
The essay here is different from what the usual essay is. Here you have to write a very compact essay between 200 and 300 words.
Right.
So nothing less than 200, nothing more than 300.
So, something similar to ours as well?
Yes, something similar to IELTS.
But the time
Is just
Half.
20 minutes. Just 20 minutes. In IELTS you've got 40 minutes.
So 20 minutes, 200 to 300 words. So
Yes.
per minute, at least 10 words you'll have to
Yes,
type.
yes.
Yeah.
Now typing 10 words per minute is not the challenge. The challenge is some of the topics that they give over here are really abstract ones.
Right.
Right? And when you have abstract topics, and if you are not used
Then
to everyday
that's right.
reading,
Mm.
if you are not keeping yourself up to date with current happenings around the world, not reading on a daily basis, or just not interested in surfing the internet and getting to know things,
Right.
writing this essay can be a challenge.
Bit of a challenge. That's right. So how many essay topics do we get in the test?
Minimum 1, maximum 2.
So minimum 20 minutes you will be
Yes,
spending on the essay. Maximum
Yes.
20, 40 minutes.
maximum 40 minutes.
All right. And since this is an independently timed task, so obviously we should utilize the full time in this task. No point doing next before the
Yes, there's nothing that we can do about it. You have to use the full 20 minutes
right.
and then go next.
That's right.
Also, this is a pure writing task.
That's
so
right.
there's no scoring that goes anywhere else. Whatever you do here is going to stay here.
In writing.
So you should make full use of the 20 minutes.
Agreed.
Right? Unless and until you are a very good essay writer who's had tons of experience in writing different kinds of essays and have been writing on different topics and different methods, are very confident about your English,
Right.
then maybe you can finish it earlier. But other than that, most people require the full 20 minutes.
But I think obviously you said the right thing, that I think it's very important to check your essay.
Yes.
Because if you have mistakes, then obviously all your effort goes in vain.
Yes, that is also a very important thing. So what is important about the essay is how you plan out the 20 minutes, the usage of that full 20 minutes. You don't need to click next even at 19 minutes and 59 seconds.
Right. Just
Let it finish
pass,
20
yes.
20 minutes.
And I think that's why PTE writes in the instruction guideline that you have 20 minutes to plan, write
Yes.
and revise an essay on the topic below.
Exactly.
That's right.
So those of you who are watching and who want to write the essay, please make sure that you are using the full 20 minutes. Wasting even 1 minute, as in not using it, you're not going to get that credit ahead. So
That's right.
that time is not going to get carried forward. So why waste that time?
That's right. And Gaurang, one of the questions which people do have, even in the test people face this, that ideas don't come readily in the mind or to the
Right.
mind. So what can be done for that? And what is the advantage in PTE or IELTS when it comes to essay writing mainly?
Okay. Now in IELTS, you can get a wide range of topics.
That's
and
right.
they keep on updating that.
That's right.
So they ask you essays on current topics. They might ask you an essay on the presidential election race in the United States
Yeah,
between
that's right.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, right? Unless you have been following the news, you might not know much
You're
about it.
versed with it. That's right.
Compared to that in PTE, they follow a certain list kind of a thing.
Right.
Most of the essay topics are from that list. Roughly 40 or 50 topics are there.
Right.
And they'll keep on twisting the way the questions
Just
are.
paraphrase the words. I think.
Yes. So they might ask a question about an essay topic. One of the most popular essay topics, let us use an example, is on pollution.
Right.
So they might ask you, if you are giving the exam, you might have a topic on pollution, wherein you are asked to talk about which is the biggest challenge being faced,
facing the world right now. The world is facing, yes.
and you have to give your opinion and maybe suggest solutions.
Yes.
When I go to the exam, I might get the same topic about pollution, but they might say it straightforward that air pollution is the biggest challenge. Do you agree or disagree?
Right.
So that makes a change. So the topic is the same. The way it is phrased, the way it is presented changes.
Yes.
And so your writing must change in that sense.
Right. So Gaurang, this series you have started mainly to help people.
Yes.
And so how exactly are you going to help people today?
Well, we are going to discuss about the different ways in which you can write an essay, the different kinds of essays that you can come across.
Right.
And at the end of the session, we are going to make an offer
Yes.
to our viewers whereby they can get a lot of help in writing the essays.
Right. And exactly how do you propose to help them? If you could just share with the viewers as well.
Well, let's keep that
Keep it
for the end of
Right.
the session,
Definitely.
right? Let's just keep that interest there
Definitely.
for a while,
Right. That's right.
right?
All right. Now the next thing is that generally, sometimes people write many paragraphs.
Mhm.
Sometimes they write too few paragraphs.
Mhm.
So how many paragraphs should be there generally in an essay?
Okay, now any essay that is written is usually composed of three sections, three parts.
Right.
There is the introduction, there is the main body, and there is the conclusion.
Conclusion. That's right.
You cannot have an essay without these three sections. Right? So you must follow the same in writing essays in PTE. The first has got to be the introduction.
Right.
Then there is the body. Now you have two choices. Either you can have one paragraph for the introduction, one paragraph for the body, and one paragraph for the conclusion.
Right.
Or you can have one paragraph for the body, one paragraph for the introduction, two paragraphs for the body, and one paragraph for the conclusion.
Right.
So it's either 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs. It should not be less than 3, ideally not more than 4.
All right. And generally for the introduction, people mainly waste time in the introduction part,
Yes.
thinking what to write, what to
Yes.
write, what to write. So is it worth the time, wasting the time, or should they just start writing?
To be honest, for the introduction, I don't think they should be wasting time. Rather, my belief is that for the essay, you should not be wasting time thinking too much.
Right.
First, okay, let me just give an example here based on a question that has been asked. Nida Khan has asked us, hello, is there any actual format for PTE essay writing, such as argumentative essay or opinion and many more? Well, Nida, very good question. This is exactly what I was coming to. While there is no set format that you can follow for the essay, I just told you can write either 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs, that is one format.
Right.
However, you can create your own template, some basic sentences with some gaps in between, some blanks that would come from based on the actual topic. But those templates you can follow, create your own, there is no problem. PTE does not require you to follow any set template. Create your own template. And soon as you get the essay topic, put that in first. That gives you time while you are typing in. Your mind can keep on thinking
Ideas.
about ideas, and then you can fill in the blanks with those ideas.
Right. But at the same time, I also see that sometimes people just blindly memorize a template, and then when they have to use the template, they make mistakes of grammar, unfortunately.
Yes. That is why I said create your own template.
Right.
Don't follow a template blindly.
Right.
Yes, if your requirement is just at the basic level wherein you are not required to score very high and everything, and a few mistakes here and there of grammar are going to work,
Right.
I don't really recommend that. This is not the way it should be done.
Correct.
But if that is the case and you are not sure at all of yourself, then maybe you can follow a set template and fill in the blanks.
Right, because I think another thing is that you need to memorize a template, and that is again extra pressure.
Yes.
You memorize like 100, 150 words from the passage. Obviously, that's not a very good way to go about anything.
No, absolutely not. Rather, instead of doing that, if you know the topic, what you can do is, once you have written down the template, try and list out some points related to the topic. You can either do it on the notepad that is provided to you, or maybe just below.
That's an extra place, yes.
The extra place that you have below the template kind of entries that you have made, and then try and fit it into the gaps in proper grammatical sense.
Yes, I think you need to be very careful to check what you've written once you have done it.
Yes, grammar is the most important thing that they are going to check in the essay. So for once, even if your arguments on the essay topic are not 100% accurate or coherent. If your grammar is 100% accurate, you will score better than focusing way too much on giving extremely coherent arguments.
Yes. Now, Gaurang, since we have talked about grammar, let's come to the main enabling skills which are linked to writing.
Right.
So obviously there are 4 main enabling skills of writing. So if you can just educate the viewers about those 4 skills.
There are 4 skills that are going to be covered when you are writing. Grammar, we already said. Because you are writing, so the spellings become important.
Exactly.
Because you are doing something
Typing,
written.
that's right.
Typing. With spellings are associated words. If you are going to use really good words, show off that you have a good vocabulary, automatically your scores will improve. And because you are writing words, words create sentences, and sentences are what convey meaning.
That's right.
So a written discourse, the way in which you express yourself,
the main structure,
the flow of your essay, the flow of your arguments, written discourse. So these are the 4 enabling skills that are covered by the essay. Spelling, grammar, vocabulary, and written discourse.
Yes. The question was coming to, like, many times people don't understand the exact meaning of written discourse. And sometimes it happens that there's a score of 19 writing, or let's say 15 written discourse.
Yes.
And the other can also be true, like 19 written discourse, but maybe 65 or 66 in writing.
Yes. Now, written discourse is basically how smoothly your writing flows.
Right.
So, you have given an introduction. The last sentence of the introduction is automatically giving an introduction for the first body paragraph.
True.
Your arguments.
Yes.
Each of your arguments are connecting to each other logically.
Right.
The examples that you give are also connected to your arguments logically.
That's right. Yes, that's true.
The second paragraph is linked smoothly to the third one. The third is automatically flowing into the conclusion. The conclusion is taking into account everything that is said above.
That's
all
right.
of these contribute to written discourse.
Correct. Very well explained. I'd also like to just make a very good similarity or analogy between IELTS and PT. Now, even in IELTS or IELTS, there are 4 main parameters. The first is called task response.
Right.
Which means you have to write to the point. You can't deviate from the topic.
Correct.
Which is, I think, the most important parameter when it comes to the score in IELTS writing. Second very important parameter is called coherence and cohesion.
Yes.
Which you very lucidly explain that coherence is the logical structure, step by step. And cohesion means something is cohesive or adhesive, means stick. The flow is there, the links are there.
Correct.
So I think if you combine these 3, task, response, coherence and cohesion, you get written discourse.
Absolutely.
And in IELTS, the next parameter is called grammatical range and accuracy. And that responds to grammar in PT.
Yes.
And the last parameter in IELTS is called lexical resource, which corresponds to
vocabulary and spelling.
And yes, spellings as well. So I think PT, IELTS, interrelated, I mean trying to basically put forth the same thing. But I also come across that one of the major differences when it comes to PT writing is that content is definitely very important.
Yes.
But you should not waste much time thinking about the content.
Yes. Because this is also something that you need to remember. Yes, there are software that grade essays.
Yes.
Right? And the grading is really good.
Yes.
So
true.
this is also a software that is going to grade your essays.
Right.
But somewhere the software has a slight disadvantage over the human brain.
Yes.
The human brain can think in multidimension.
True. True.
And that is why the different meanings that your writing or your essay can take is understood better by a human than it can be by a computer.
True.
So somewhere, as I said earlier, even if one of your arguments is slightly weaker, it's fine.
It's fine.
Because if your grammar, your vocabulary, your spellings are really strong, you will get top marks.
That's right. So basically, the communicative skill, which is writing, and enabling skills, which are these 4, they are linked, but not that linked as well.
Not that linked as well.
So we shouldn't worry much about the, what do you say, part by part, but I think we should just look at the big picture, and you should try to be as correct as possible with as few mistakes as possible.
And in the end, if we look at it, for most of the time, and for almost all applications, what matters are the 4 communicative skills at the top.
Right.
I have seen so many students, as you said, a perfect 90 in writing, however, maybe a 65 or a 70 in their enabling skills.
That's true.
Does not matter because they have scored the 90 that is required.
That's true.
Right? And that is all that really matters if you look at it.
That's true. And since we are talking about enabling skills, I'd also like to add one thing about spellings. Now, in the writing guideline, PTE has clearly mentioned that you should write just one types of spellings. Either we stick to British spellings or we stick to American spellings. Because obviously if you mix the two,
Yes.
it is a software and it will be confused, which
Yes.
means one, it will not correct, maybe the second incorrect. So specifically in a single task, you should never mix the types of spellings. For example, let's say organization and globalization. Now in British we write with S and in American we write with Z.
Right.
So if I write globalization with S and organization with Z, it is a problem.
It is a problem. I usually advise my students that if you are starting the test,
Yeah.
and the first writing task is of course summarize written
Summarize
text.
text.
If you're starting that task with American spellings, then throughout
Stick
the
to it,
exam,
that's right.
till the end of the exam, stick to American spellings. You don't
That's
need
right.
to change.
No need to change, that's true.
That also makes life easier
Easier.
for you
the
because you will not be
software.
confused. And because you're not confusing the software will give you better marks.
Definitely. So yes.
Okay, Sharon Sharma, I didn't get time to check my essay. Typo error, spelling was very poor, but written discourse, grammar, vocab was really good, and I got only 63 in writing. Sharon, good question, but it's not just essay that matters. A lot of weightage for writing comes from reading and writing fill in the blanks, which is part of the reading section, summarize spoken text, which is part of listening, fill in the blanks, listening, as well as written, write from dictation, which is also part of listening.
True.
These three in themselves contribute
A large
possibly 50 or more percentage of the marks to the written section.
Right.
So you might have missed maybe write from dictation or made mistakes in the fill in the blanks, you would get less marks in writing.
Yes.
So there's no way to really know just because you made spelling mistakes in the essay, you got 63. No, that's not true.
Yes, but as you have written that, written discourse, you've got a good score. So if you've got a good score in written discourse means mainly you're good with writing the essay part. And as Gaurang correctly said, you need to focus on the tasks of writing, but not in the writing module.
Right.
So mainly tasks in reading and listening modules, which mainly make up a big chunk of your score.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Malcolm, should students be using the topic exactly? This is also a question that is asked. Can I use what has been given in the question exactly in the essay? Is that advisable? Not.
Not really, because this is not a test of copywriting. So obviously we should not be copy pasting full topics from the passage. But yes, very important that you try to paraphrase some part of
Right.
it, especially in the introduction. Because as we already said, written discourse mainly I think resonates with task response, which is there in IELTS as well. And task response means you write to the point. And the best and the most effective way of writing to the point is paraphrasing the topic. So basically keep one or two words, main words from the topic idea, and then rephrase that sentence.
Right. At the same time, you have to make sure that you do not repeat yourself throughout
Yes,
the essay.
repetition generally kills the score of written discourse.
Yes.
Very true point.
Yes. So often what students prefer to do is if they do not know the topic,
Yes.
or if they do not have too many ideas, they'll pick up a couple of ideas and then they'll play around with the words.
Yes, that's true.
Try not to do that, because the computer is smart enough to know that. Right? If you are just giving the same argument in 3 different ways, the computer will know that it's just a ploy to fill up the words, to fill up that space, and thereby get marks.
Actually,
It's not good to
yes,
work.
actually paraphrasing can also be done in many ways.
Yes.
So if you're just using, the same words again and again, that's the worst form of paraphrasing. Obviously, you can see many ways, like active, passive. Then, of course, you can change also the structure, how you paraphrase. So many ways to paraphrase it, actually, but depends how you do it.
Yes. Okay. Nida has again asked us. Thank you, Nida, for a second question. We really appreciate that. But before that, we also have Gurjant, who has asked, sir, how long test valid for PR purpose? Well, Gurjant, it's off topic, but we would be happy to give you the answer. The scores for PTE are valid for 3 years. For 3 years, they are valid for PR. So for TR applications as well as PR applications, you can use your PTE scores for 3 years. Right? Coming back to Nida. Nida, you have asked us how many examples we have to give in one paragraph if we have a vast knowledge about the topic given in the exam. Sir, what do you have to say for that?
Always you should try to give examples, because if you read the instruction at the top, there are 4 main things which PTE writes in the instruction. First is, your essay will be judged on how well you develop a position. That's the first thing.
Right.
Second thing they write is how well you organize your ideas, which means coherence and cohesion. It should be there, the flow. Third thing they write is how well you present supporting details.
Correct.
And the meaning of supporting details is evidence, which means examples. And that is why to support the topic, an example should be there ideally. So generally, one example per paragraph,
More than enough.
enough.
Yeah. So again, you don't need to use any examples in the introduction or the conclusion.
Yes.
Right? Try not to introduce anything new in the conclusion. This is something you have to be very careful about.
Yes.
And because you got a very limited number of words, between 200 and 300 to write, don't use too lengthy examples or anything like that.
Yes, overwhelmed by your own writing, you just
Yes.
keep on writing, and you don't realize that you still need to write the conclusion as well.
Yeah. So try and use one example maybe in the body paragraph 1 and one short example in body paragraph 2. Again, this is not compulsory.
Not compulsory.
You use one example throughout the essay and that should also be fine.
It should suffice, that's true.
Okay, Gaurang Mehta has asked, do they ask only argument kind of essays? Well, Gaurang, they do not ask just argument kind of essays. What are the different kinds of essays that they ask, Malcolm sir?
There are generally 4 types of essays. First, which we call mainly agree, disagree
Right.
essays. Second are broadly the opinion essays, where your opinion will be asked.
Right.
Third, you can say, are mainly your discussion essays. And fourth type, generally they mix the last two, which is opinion plus discussion essay. Now
Right.
there are also different types of essays, but generally they fall under these 4
Yeah.
or 3, like problem solution essay,
Yes.
cause and effect essay, do you agree and to what extent type of essays. But broadly speaking, I think they are very close to opinion essays. Like,
Yes.
because let's say even if an essay is like, do you agree and to what extent? So the question is, your agreement or disagreement is being asked.
So agree,
yes.
disagree is opinion.
Yes.
Problem, solution is a discussion.
Yes.
So if you look at it broadly, the 4 types that Malcolm gave, they can be further divided into the problem solution,
Yes.
the cause and
Cause and
effect,
effect, yes.
the argumentative essay, as you
Argumentative
say.
essay, yes.
They are all derivatives of these 4 types.
That's true.
Right? So be ready for one of these 4 types: agree, disagree, opinion, discussion, and
Opinion plus discussion.
opinion
sometimes,
plus discussion.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, so I think we have answered your question. Yes, you have another
Yeah.
question as well.
Sorry, Karan, you have another question. Also, if they ask like agree, disagree, shall I stick to agreement part or can use both part in different paragraph and conclude at the end?
Now again, see, try to understand that this is PTE, this is not IELTS. So actually, if they ask something like, sorry, what is asked?
He has asked, can I use agree in one paragraph, disagree in
You
another
definitely
paragraph,
can.
and then conclude?
You definitely can. I don't think there should be a problem with that as well. But if there's a question like, do you agree and to what extent? So basically, maybe the PT is asking you that you stick to more like agree point. But still, I don't think in general there's any problem with that, because as we said, that you need to stick to the main parameters of writing: written discourse, spelling, grammar, and vocabulary. So even if, let's say, I'll give you a very straightforward example. Let's say it's an agree-disagree essay. You write it like it's a discussion essay. Yes, maybe you get a less score in written discourse, but still the writing score won't go down much, honestly
Absolutely.
speaking. Yes.
Now, Gaurang, another thing that I would like to add here is that you can follow this pattern if you are not sure whether you are going to fully agree with it or fully disagree with it.
Right.
Suppose you want to allow your arguments to develop as you are thinking, then yes, follow it so that you are writing one passage for agree, another paragraph for disagree, and then based on what is carrying more weightage, you reach a conclusion.
Conclusion, yes.
That is acceptable. If you are very sure that you are only agreeing to this,
Yes, one point. Yes.
then it's also fine to write a fully agree essay or a fully disagree essay.
Right.
And then give a clear answer that since my arguments above are totally against it, I disagree with the point.
Right, like the advantages outweigh the
Yes.
disadvantages, something
Yes.
like that, yes. So yes, honestly doesn't make that much of a difference in the writing score for sure.
Right. Well, sir, is there anything else that, have you missed out on in questions? Let's look at that.
Not really, can't see any more
I
questions.
think we have covered almost all the questions asked.
Yes, and
There is one thing that you have to be very particular about, and that is the connectors.
yes.
What kind of connectors should be used ideally throughout the essay?
Yes, so generally as linking can help you in your score of written discourse and obviously the writing score. So the paragraphs, you can start with words like to begin with, first and foremost, secondly, moreover, furthermore. Again, it's not compulsory that you use these words, But generally, if you use these words, the software also finds it's very easy to understand that, you know, these words are helping the link of the passage.
And it's not even necessary that you start the paragraph saying firstly or to begin with or anything like that. You can start the paragraph, and even if you include these words in the first sentence, it is fine. The first sentence of the paragraph, that is not the introduction paragraph, please be clear about that. It's not the introduction paragraph, rather it's in the body paragraph 1 and the body paragraph 2.
True.
What that allows the computer to understand is you have given an introduction and now you are beginning the arguments.
The follow-up, yes, that's true.
Yes.
Yes, Gaurang, we have another question from Nida. She's asking that if we get 2 essays in one exam, can we use the same format as the first essay?
Yes, because it's a computer that is going to be assessing you. It is not going to do a comparison between your first essay and your second essay.
Independent scoring, yes.
That is independent scoring. So following the same format is not a problem. However, try not to use the same arguments or the same words. Try to be a bit more creative with the kind of words that you use so that you are showing off your vocabulary better.
Because as we said, see, these things are related, the communicative skills and the enabling skills, but they are also separate. So basically, if you keep on repeating, let's say the word students, in both the essays 10 times you write, it's obviously software things that you're not that good at your vocabulary, and so the vocabulary may go down. Yes.
Well, Tenzin Norbu is asking, is there possible to get 80 in each from 55 in each band? Definitely possible, Tenzin. We have had so many students who are struggling to score not just 55, who are struggling to score 50, that is a band score of 6, and who have come and joined with us and have gone on to achieve 80 and even 90.
Just today morning, one of your students.
One of my students just today morning, her name is Aditi. She gave the exam on Sunday. She got her scores yesterday. Her scores in speaking were at 53. And this time around, in just one attempt, she has gone from 53 straight to 90. Her overall score is 86. We are really proud of what she has achieved. But she is a live example to show you that yes, it is possible to go from 55 to 80 and even 90 in each of the 4 sections.
So yes, definitely, Tenzing, if you're thinking that you can't do it, then obviously you don't need to think much more. You just need to come to us. We'll be more than happy to get you that score.
Yes. You can come and meet Malcolm here in our CBD office, or you can come and meet me or Tanu in our Clayton office, and we would be more than happy to guide you and help you achieve 80 and even 90 in each of the 4 modules.
Yes, because compared to IELTS, definitely you have taken PT, that's why I've written 55, but compared to IELTS, it's very easy to get a very high score in this test.
And often, a lot of students who are giving the test the first time or maybe the second time, because they don't really know the pathways, the ways in which you can get better scores, the special skills that we provide them, they fail to get the scores.
Definitely.
So I have come across so many such examples.
Well, you're wrong. I think we have covered each and everything in the writing part.
Yes.
And I think if the viewers have any doubts, they can just revisit our old video where we had discussed what to write in the essay as well. It's there in our videos as well.
Yes, it's there in our videos. We have earlier done a full session on this, which was part of our PTE live session series. We had discussed the essay in a long detail.
Yes, all the 20 tasks.
Yeah.
And Gaurang, also I'd like to remind the viewers that just today morning, 3 of our students have got band 8.5 or 9 scores. So you started February on a very positive note. Even in January, I think we had 15 students, 15 students, who have got a score of perfect 90. And I don't think there is any institute in the world which has got 15 90s. I can challenge any institute in the world. I don't think.
If we were to add the scores of students who got their desired scores and those who scored 7+ or 8+, then I think the number goes to maybe 40, 50. I don't even.
Maybe more.
We have lost count. It's gone so high.
But yes, when it comes to 9 is a score of 86 to 90, and 90 is a score of 90. So what I'm talking is not 9, but a perfect 90. And a perfect 90 means 90 each. And we had 3 students, I think 3 or 4 students.
4 students.
Not 4. Let me recount it. I think we had 6 students. I think 6. I'm not. If I'm not wrong, 6 students who got 90 each as well.
Yes, 6 students who got 90 each.
So that's just for January we are talking about. So if you want to get that score, you know where you need to come.
Maybe, Malcolm, something that I just got. It's just an idea that's coming to me. Maybe we should register the trademark 90, 90, 90, 90.
That's true. It's a good thing. We've got a good series going on.
Yes.
And definitely, we hope that in the month of February, we outdo ourselves and we break our record as well.
Absolutely. That is what our target is. We want to outdo ourselves every time. We are not here to compete with anybody else except ourselves.
That's true.
Because when we better ourselves,
We reach the pinnacle of success.
yes, there's nobody else who can match us.
That's true.
Simple as that.
And friends, I'd also like to remind you that this Saturday, that is the 3rd of February, day after tomorrow, we are having a masterclass at our Melbourne premises, at our CBD Melbourne premises. So if you've not already registered, you can definitely go to ptetutorials.com, and under coaching, you will see the Melbourne masterclass as well. And just to remind you friends, those of you who are viewing us in Sydney right now, that on 10th of February, again a Saturday, the second Saturday of February, I am coming to the Parameter branch of Aussies Group, where I'll be having the master class specifically for those of you in Sydney. So if not registered, please go to ptetutorials.com. Under coaching, you will see the Sydney master class or the Parameter master class is the same thing. Please register for that as well. You won't regret attending the class, and you'll get a lot of material and 2 free practice tests as well, which will definitely help you. And friends, sorry Gaurang, but
Yes.
just let me continue. I'd also like to remind the friends that for the month of February, we are running a special February offer, specifically for February. Our 2 months package you can avail for just $399. Our 1 month package you can avail for just $799. And if you're looking for the unlimited package, you can avail it for the special price of just $899. And now the good thing is, with all these packages, you will be getting 2 free master classes as well in the Aussies Melbourne branch, and I'm sure even the Aussies
Yes.
Clayton branch will be more than
Yes.
happy to accommodate that as well.
Well, just one minor, just in case somebody is confused. It's 2 weeks at $399.
Yes.
I think you mistakenly mentioned 2 months.
I'm sorry.
So please don't be confused about that. It's 2 weeks at
2
$399, 1 month at $799, and
Unlimited.
unlimited. And when we say unlimited, it means unlimited at $899. That is a fantastic offer. It's going to be extended from the Clayton branch as
Definitely.
well. We are not going to be changing that,
Definitely.
right? Because Clayton and Melbourne, we are just
2
both
centers,
together.
That's true.
Okay.
So friends, I think we are done with our today's class. And sir, what will be covering next week now?
But before we move on to that, we had that special offer
Definitely,
that was
definitely.
to be
Thanks for
given.
reminding.
Well, those of our viewers who have participated with us in this session today, and those of you who are going to view it later on, we invite you to send us by private message your email address. All of those who send us your email address by the coming Monday, we will be sharing with you a list of the most frequently asked essay topics in PTE, as well as a few sample essays as to how the essay should be written. These essays will have been written either by myself or Malcolm, so that you get a chance to see how the best essays are supposed to be written. Best essays for PTE are to be written.
That's right. So please friends, as Gaurang said, please be more than happy. We'll be more than happy to help you. You can just PM us, that is, send us a message, or I think they can even leave a comment. We
Yes,
would not
leave a
mind,
comment
definitely.
on this video and we will be checking it out, and once we have your email address, we will be sending out the email with the list of essay topics as well as the sample essays.
Definitely. And sir, now coming to the question that next week, what we'll be covering in our topic.
We are done with
Writing.
writing, so we are moving on to reading, and the first topic in reading that we will be taking is multiple choice questions, single correct answer.
All right, multiple choice, choose single answer. Definitely. Now again, that's I think a bit low weightage task.
Yes, it's a bit low weightage task. Let's start with a bit low weightage task, then we can take on the heavy weights. Let's get people used to
Easy
coming
things
in.
first, yes.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
And Nida, yes, we'll definitely send you the content as well. Just be kind
Please.
enough to leave your
Yes.
email ID in the comments section.
Nida Asif, thank you for asking for that. We would be happy to send it. Please also include your email address. It's not provided at the moment. We cannot send it via Facebook.
Thank you. So friends, thank you so much for joining in today. And next week we'll be covering the multiple choice to single answer task in the reading module.
Yes.
Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Welcome. Thank you, Param. We will be sending it to you as well.
Definitely,
Thank you.
Param.
Please send your email addresses. We look forward to being with you again next week when we take up the next topic. Till then, keep practicing and keep getting ready for your PTE scores. All the best.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.